recently I finished playing Days Gone. And for those of you who don't know, the studio that developed Days Gone is known as Bend Studio. And it's the same studio that made another game called Syphon Filter. And that game turned into a franchise. There are 7 Syphon Filter games in total. And when you play Days Gone, you're gonna find Syphon Filter references inside it. So I decided to make this video to show every Syphon Filter reference that you're gonna find in Days Gone. So it's gonna be a list video. I'm gonna list every reference you find, and it will also serve as a guide on how to unlock these references, because some of them are unlockables, like certain weapons and certain side quests that you gotta do. And before we start, I want to mention that my channel is dedicated for Syphon Filter content, and we have a Syphon Filter Discord. You can find the link in the description. Join us. You can meet Syphon Filter fans, discuss the game with them, and you can also play Syphon Filter the Omega Strain online with them, because the online for this game has been brought back. Now back to Days Gone. After finishing the story and finishing the Horde missions, I fell in love with this game. And I gotta say that the story took me by surprise. It was like watching a TV series that you can interact with, and it's a pretty good TV series. And the action mechanics, they worked really well. And taking on the hordes was really stressful and caused me a lot of anxiety, but I enjoyed every minute of it. And I applaud Bend Studio for the level of attention to detail that they put in this game. And if there's one word I would describe this game with, it's that it's cool. It's a cool game. It's a cool story. It's a cool experience. Riding the bike was really enjoyable, and upgrading your bike and all that. So I really enjoyed. So now first, let's talk about what Syphon Filter is. Like I said, Bend Studio developed 7 Syphon Filter games. Those are Syphon Filter 1, 2, 3 on PlayStation 1, and Syphon Filter the Omega Strain on PlayStation 2, and Syphon Filter Dark Mirror, Syphon Filter Logan's Shadow, and Syphon Filter Combat Ops. Those 3 are on PSP. Dark Mirror and Logan's Shadow were later ported to PS2 as well. And regarding Combat Ops, we're not going to be talking about that in this video, because Combat Ops is an online only. It's sort of an expansion. It doesn't have a story, so we're not going to be talking about it. So if you're a Days Gone fan, I really recommend that you play Syphon Filter, especially Syphon Filter 1 and 2 and the Omega Strain. Those are like the highlight of the series. The first 2 games are really awesome, and the Omega Strain has a lot of replayability value, and it has co-op online. And like I said, you can join the server, the Discord server, and find people to play the game with, and you can find guides on how to beat any mission that you find difficult. And now we're going to start with the references. I decided to divide the references into 2 categories. Category 1 is going to be Syphon Filter references, and there is 7 of those. And category 2 is going to be Syphon Filter similarities. Similarities are different in the way that they are not direct references, like it doesn't say anything about Syphon Filter, but it's like a similar mechanic that carried over from the Syphon Filter franchise into Days Gone. So the similarities list is going to be 7 similarities, and the references, like I said, are 7 references. So let's begin. So let's start with the references. And reference number 1 is the bike skin. As you know, in Days Gone, you have a bike, and this bike can be customized with different skins. So some skins are already available in the game. Some of them came in the form of updates, patches, and some of them you unlock in the game. There are skins for those skins are references to other games, like a God of War skin, a Death Stranding skin, and so on. And one of those skins is a Syphon Filter skin, and it exists in the game. I think it's there from the beginning. I didn't do anything to unlock it. It was just there, but I didn't look for it at the beginning. I was like about maybe 2 hours into the game. Like when I was when I was customizing my bike for the first time, and in the nearest camp that I got to, I was just looking through the skins and I found the Syphon Filters bike skin. So I'm gonna demonstrate it now, and you can see how to equip it and see how it looks. So you go to any camp, you find the mechanic, go to paint, decals, and press R2 for custom accents. And there you go. See, this one is God of War. And there you go. This is the Syphon Filter skin. Gonna let you have a good look at it from all angles. See, the word Syphon Filter is printed. Now let's take a look at the bike, how it looks. It's all green because Syphon Filter is like the theme color for Syphon Filter, at least the original trilogy on PS1. It was mostly a green effect. And if we go to the fuel tank, see when we change, you can upgrade your fuel tanks. See when you change fuel tanks, the tank changes, and so the symbol, the colors, they change with it. So I'm showing you how they all look.
Come back if you remember what you want. See you around.
And now I'm gonna quit to the main menu. See, even in the main menu, your bike is gonna change the skin, and it's gonna take whatever you equipped in the in game, and it's gonna show up in the main menu. See, everything is green. This is the Syphon Filter skin applied to the bike. The second reference I want to talk about is the taser. So, as you can see, this is what a taser looks like in Days Gone. This is a weapon that is a very unique weapon for Syphon Filter, and I think it was ranked in the list of top 100 popular weapons in video games of all time, according to IGN. It's a very fun weapon to use and tamper with. So I'm gonna show you how the weapon looks in every Syphon Filter game, and what is it called, and the description about it. And then I'm gonna show you a mini guide of how to unlock this weapon in Days Gone and how to use it. And we're gonna do a demonstration about how to use it. This is from Syphon Filter 1. You can read the description of the weapon. It says that it has a charge of 500,000 volts and it's called just Taser. This is what it looks like in game. Look how they burst in flames. This is from Syphon Filter 2. The name is now different. Now it's called the Air Taser. The description is pretty much the same. The charge is the same. And this is from Syphon Filter 3. It's also called the Air Taser, but the charge is now different. It's 150,000 volts. Now in Syphon Filter the Omega strain, the taser becomes two. It splits into two weapons. The first one is this one, the EDT, and the second one is this one, the EPDD. The EPDD has a longer range, and the EDT is for short range. This is the description for the EDT. Now the charge is 625,000 volts, or they say 625K. And the EDT stands for, if you read the description, it says Electromuscular Disruption Technology, EDT. And this is the description for the EPDD. It doesn't say anywhere what the acronym EPDD stands for. I looked everywhere in the wiki, in the manuals of the game, in the files, everything. It doesn't say what it is. It's just EPDD. The community, the fans of Siphon Filter, like our best guess, like we discussed this the other day, we said it stands for electromuscular pulse disruption device. We took that from the EDT acronym and just added the rest of the letters. And the charge is pretty much, I think it's the same, and except that it's longer range. The EDT is a 25-foot range, and this one it doesn't say here, but later in Siphon Filter Dark Mirror, it says that it's 200 feet of range. This is Gabe Logan, the main character of Siphon Filter. Now, this is from Dark Mirror. This is the EDT in Dark Mirror. This is also Gabe Logan, but he looks a little bit different. He looks different in about every game.
He's near the south gate! Get out there!
This is the description for the EPDD, and here it says that it has a 200 feet long range. When you use it, it looks pretty much the same. It's just it's
No
longer range.
guarantees, but I'll see what I can do.
Again, this is also from Dark Mirror. This is Leon using the taser. In Logan's Shadow, it has the same description as Dark Mirror, the EDT. And it looks the same when you use it. Same with the APDD, same description, and it looks the same when you use it, except that it's longer in range. Now, let's go to Days Gone. After finishing the NERO missions in Days Gone, you unlock this objective. It's called There's Nothing You Can Do. It's kind of a secret ending. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I'm not gonna show you the cutscene. As soon as the cutscene starts, we're gonna cut away. And you unlock this by finishing the NERO-related side quests, like the NERO research sites and the NERO checkpoints. After that, you unlock this objective. You go to it. A cutscene will trigger,
Well, I can't say
just
I
like this.
expected to hear from
I'm
you
gonna
again.
cut away from the cutscene now because we don't want spoilers. And after that, you have finished the NERO objectives. Now you will unlock the taser in Days Gone. There you go. In Days Gone, the taser is called the IPCA stun gun. IPCA stands for International Presidential Consultant Agency, which is the main agency that you work for in Syphon Filter. As you can see, I have the taser, but I can't craft it. Unlocking the taser and crafting the taser are two separate things. So that step was to unlock the taser. Now we have to craft it. And to craft it, we have to find things that are called IPCA tech pieces. This map shows you every location of every IPCA tech piece. So you can go and collect them. And you usually find them in the NERO checkpoints on dead bodies that you find near the NERO checkpoints or the NERO research site. As you can see, I'm collecting the pieces. And if you go to your inventory gear, you can see on the bottom right corner, it says IPCA Tech. And now I'm crafting the weapon. and now it's gone from the inventory. This is pretty much all the description you get about this weapon. There's not much here. And if we go into photo mode, you can see on the taser the initials. It says GL, which stands for Gabriel Logan. Gabe Logan is the protagonist of Syphon Filter. Now let's demonstrate the taser.
Yep, burn in hell.
Now let's test it on a human. In my opinion, the best taser was the one in Syphon Filter, the Omega strain. As you can see, here's a comparison shot between old versions of the taser. On the top, you have the taser from Syphon Filter 1, 2, 3. Then you have the EDT from the Omega strain. And then you have the EPDD, the grayish looking one. And in the bottom, we have the Days Gone taser. The EPDD from the Omega strain specifically, as you saw in the footage, in my opinion, it looks the best. It has the best effects, the best sound. It's just the coolest one out of the bunch. So that's pretty much it about the taser. So in number three, the third reference we have is a weapon that exists in Syphon Filter, the Omega strain, the fourth Syphon Filter, and in Days Gone. It's called the CH rifle. I'll show you how it looks like in the Omega strain in Syphon Filter first, and then I'll show you how it looks like in Days Gone. It's a very powerful weapon. Like, it's really powerful. It has a good amount of ammo, good amount of damage. It has a scope, like a sniper rifle, and has a pretty fast fire rate. And now, in Days Gone, when you go to Iron Mike's camp in Lost Lake, you can buy the CH rifle. You can see here the description for the weapon. So with the silencer attached, that's how it sounds like.
There we go.
And now without the silencer, it's a pretty powerful weapon in this game too.
Almost out.
Now this is from the Syphon Filter wiki. It says that the CH rifle, which is used in the Omega strain, was later, the model for it was later reused for another weapon called the MB150, which appears in Syphon Filter Dark Mirror and Logan's Shadow. And also in real life, the CH rifle is based on the Heckler & Koch MSG-90, or also known as HK MSG-90. And this is from the Days Gone wiki. It says the same thing. It's based on the HK MSG-90, and that later it became the MB150 for the Syphon Filter Dark Mirror Logan's Shadow. And also that the MB150 was also used in Days Gone, but they changed its name to the BND150. We'll talk about that later, but for now, let's focus on the CH rifle itself. This is the HK MSG-90. And here's a comparison shot between the C8 rifle and Omega Strain, Days Gone, and the HK-MSG90. Now, number 4, the fourth reference in this list is the BND 150. It says here that it's an experimental sniper rifle developed by the IPCA. Like we said before, the IPCA is the main organization in Syphon Filter that you work for. So in Syphon Filter, this weapon is called the MB150. So first I'll show you the MB150 in Syphon Filter, and then we'll check the BND150. Now, in Syphon Filter Dark Mirror, this is the description for the MB150. It says it's a standard IPCA sniper rifle. The weapon has specialized darts, and when you go to the selection menu, you can switch between 6mm round, explosives, gas darts, and EDT. EDT are electric darts. Now let's use the 6mm darts, and now let's switch to the explosives. You can switch from the menu or switch on the fly, and see when you shoot the dart, it attaches to the enemy, and you can detonate it at any time you choose by pressing R1. And you can also retrieve the dart from the enemy by approaching them and pressing circle. I just retrieved the dart. So that was the explosive. Now this is footage from Logan's Shadow. It's pretty much the same as Dark Mirror. So I wanted to show footage across the two games. And this is the gas dart. It can take enemies silently. It can take multiple enemies together. It's good for stealth. And these are the electric darts. And that's pretty much it for Syphon Filter. Now let's go to Days Gone. To unlock the BND 150 in Days Gone, it's only available in New Game Plus, so you would have to finish the game, beat the story at least once. So now let's go to New Game Plus and start a new game. To start New Game Plus, select the save with a completed main story. I have that. Let's select any one of these saves. Now, like I said, the weapon only unlocks in New Game Plus, and you don't just get it from the get-go. You have to go to a gun locker to unlock it. So the nearest gun locker is in this location. Here it is. You go to Special Weapons. The BND 150, an experimental sniper rifle developed by the IPCA. Now that we have the weapon, we need to craft the gas darts, the electric darts, and the explosive darts. Explosive and electric are easy to craft, you just need some scrap. But for the gas darts, you need an item called poison, and it's not that common. There are specific places you can find it in. The nearest place when you start a new game plus is after going to Copeland's camp. He gives you this mission, which is the radio tower in this location shown in the map right here. So you go to this location and you find poison here. Now I can craft my gas dart. So let's demonstrate how this weapon plays in this game. These are the explosive darts.
At last.
and the ADT, the electric ones. The difference between this and the Syphon Filter is that you don't detonate the darts later, they just explode instantly. This is the 6mm round, the normal shot without any darts, and now the gas dart finally. It's a pretty cool weapon.
More bounties.
So I found this text in the Days Gone wiki. It's regarding the BND 150. It says that the BND 150, the weapon itself, in reality resembles Heckler & Koch SR9 with the clubfoot buttstock of the Heckler & Koch HK21E. So they're saying it's a hybrid between the SR9 and the HK21E. Well, this statement contradicts the other statement that we found in the CH rifle section, which is this one. And this one says that the BND 150 is based on the CH rifle and that the CH rifle is based on the MSG 190. I'll put both statements in one image so you can look at them. See, in the CH section, it says it's based on the MSG 90, but in the BND 150 section, it says that it's like a hybrid between the SR9 and the HK21E. I'll show images for comparison. So here we can see the BND 150 on top. Underneath it is the MB 150, and then the CH rifle from Days Gone and the MSG 90 in real life. So these are all supposed to be the same weapon. The MSG 90 is the CH rifle is supposed to be based on the MSG 90, and the BND 150 is supposed to be based on the CH rifle. Also, I'll show images for the second statement, which says that the BND 150 is based on a hybrid of these two, the SR9 and the HK21E. I don't know which one is more accurate. You look at the weapons and I'll leave that for you. You decide which statement is more accurate. Now that leads us to number 5, the fifth reference. As you can see here, we have a poster for the 6th Syphon Filter installment, Syphon Filter Logan's Shadow. And in Days Gone, there is a direct reference to this name, the name Logan's Shadow, in the form of a trophy. So here's the trophy list. You can see this trophy is called Logan's Shadow. How do you unlock this trophy? Well, the weapon that we just talked about, the BND 150, you have to shoot an enemy with at least kill one enemy with each type of ammo that this weapon uses. So you have to shoot an enemy with a 6mm round, with an EDT dart, with the gas dart, and with the explosive dart, and that unlocks this trophy. And speaking of trophies, this leads us to number 6. And number 6 is a trophy reference also. So for those of you who don't know, Syphon Filter 1 and Syphon Filter 2 were published by a studio named 989 Studios. And this trophy is a reference to that. It says 989 lend me your ears. So you unlock this trophy by collecting 989 Freaker ears. Now I will show you the logo that appears when you boot Syphon Filter 1 and 2, and it was referenced again in Dark Mirror. So I'll show footage for both of these. And I know this is not a direct reference to Syphon Filter. They are referencing the publishing company 989 Studios, but that company was publishing Syphon Filter 1 and 2, and the logo appears in both those two games. So we can call this one like an indirect reference.
989 Studios.
Use the up, down, left, and right buttons to select the numbers you want to enter. Nice work. This is a functional door. Press the up.
So now we go to the final Syphon Filter reference, Number 7. See, if you go to this location on the map, see, this is the whole map, so you get a frame of reference. It's here in Iron Butte. This location, it's called the Cloverdale, I think, Cloverdale facility. This is the place where Sarah used to work. There's also a mission that takes place in this place. You can collect. There's a document in here. You can collect the document during the mission. I didn't do that. I missed it, so I came back later, which is what I'm showing you right now. You have to enter through the building. Yeah, Cloverdale Research. Enter through the building. Go up the stairs. I should take a left. Yeah, it's in this room right here. See, this is a document. Let's zoom in on it. I think it says Oregon. Is that Oregon? I don't know. Classified virus research. That's what it says. Zoom in on the document itself. See if there is anything. So you go to your collectibles, which you can find in the storyline section, collectibles, and you go to tourism, the tourism section. It's number 28. It says that it's a Cloverdale memo concerning the evolution of viral samples from a classified agency, which is the IPCA, of course. So there is a lot to unpack here. Basically, what this memo says is that the Syphon Filter virus that was developed by Farcom Industries, they sent samples from the IPCA to this Cloverdale research facility. And you can see it says strain 01A, strain 02C. These are strains of the Syphon Filter virus. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you footage of how we got the sample of each strain, strain 01, strain 02, the strain redacted, and the omega strain. And then we are going to read the whole message, and I will try to guess what the redacted sections are. Before we do that, let's scroll down so you can read the whole message. So now let's start with strain strain 01A, which is the first Syphon Filter strain from Syphon Filter 1, and they say it's collected in Ukraine. So here we have a mission that takes place in Ukraine.
My God, Syphon Filter.
Yes, it's quite remarkable. A virus genetically programmable to eliminate anyone or anything. Imagine a weapon that could target specific demographics, ethnic groups, that could wipe out whole continents, except for those chosen to survive.
The outbreaks we've been tracking.
Tests, evidently. We've traced Fagan to this abandoned cathedral. According to Mara, this is Romer's stronghold, a place where he keeps prisoners. Undesirables. Alec Kabanoff runs the site for Romer. He kept Fagan supplied with human test subjects for various forms of the virus. Now Fagan is being held prisoner himself, probably somewhere in the catacombs.
See, it also says that Fagan, which is the head of Farcom, he's now held in the cathedral in Ukraine, and they don't mention it in this cutscene, but he's infected. So because he's infected, that's where the sample comes from. So now here's Gabe meeting Fagan, or confronting him.
Thank God.
Shut up, Fagan. Move. I have him.
Give him 30 seconds to give you the location of the computers, then eliminate
No,
him.
wait a minute. You don't understand. You
Thousands
don't...
of people are dead, Fagan, because of you. 20 seconds.
Wait, you don't understand.
Time's up. Where are the sequencing computers?
An abandoned Soviet missile silo in Kazakhstan, beneath an old warehouse district, all right? All right?
We also find Leon held captive here, and she's infected too.
Syphon Filter virus.
I know. We have the computer's location. Markinson is already on his way.
Gabe, I've been infected. We have to get to Fagan's warehouse before the agency destroys everything.
But they found a vaccine. The test
There
subjects.
is no universal vaccine. You have to know the specific genetic lock and key for each programmed virus. Only Fagan's computers have that information.
But that means...
Follow me. I know the way out.
Now, this cutscene is from Syphon Filter 2, which shows us how they are extracting the sample from Fagan's body.
Doctor, is your work with him done?
Yes, that's the last we need from him. We get the rest from Zing.
Then let's tie up a loose end. Unplug him.
Wait, I can still use him back at the lab. We still have not fully studied the long-term effects of the virus on certain genetic structures. I can use him to...
My orders are to make Fagan disappear when you have finished extracting his plasma. The agency can't risk the government finding Farcom's CEO infected with an unknown virus.
I see. And it doesn't help that he has Aramov's bullet in his brain,
You
does
can
it?
use the girl for your other tests.
Fine, if you insist. I'll call the New York labs and see if they're ready for us.
They also mentioned the New York agency labs, so that takes us to the second strain, strain 02C. And you can see this mission in Syphon Filter 2. It takes place in New York, which is the agency biolab. And basically, they are going to talk about something called Phase 2 of the virus. And I'm assuming that this Phase 2 is what they refer to as sample 02C.
You were given Mr. Fagan's job because you promised to have Phase 2 of the virus ready in time.
Data. And it's my people who will die if Shihao gets Phase 2 of the Syphon Filter virus.
So the third strain is called strain redacted. So maybe it has a number like 03 something, but in Syphon Filter 3, they call it the final strain.
You can't help them. They're infected with the final strain of the Syphon Filter virus, and I have not yet made the antidote. The compounds I need are scattered throughout the base.
See, they mentioned the final strain, so that's the third strain. And this mission here, this is a mission in Australia, which is the village that is mentioned in the memo. Now, the fourth strain is the Omega strain, which was obtained in Carthage.
The new virus appears rather unstable, but Ivankov does not seem to care. He has someone making the rounds, selling it anyway. We won't know where he's going next. But we'll know where he's been.
Where's Broussard? Has anyone seen Broussard?
Events are becoming complicated. The Carthage Health Authority is not cooperating. At this moment, I am waiting to interview Broussard.
Has anyone seen Broussard?
Don't screw up that field autopsy. Follow the agency protocols. Teresa, we've completed the field autopsy. Let Elsa know her tissue samples are on their way. Copy that. Teresa out.
In the bottom part, they talk about something called, they have botanical samples out of Iquitos, Peru. Something called chemsynth botanicals that look kind of interesting. So this chemsynth botanicals, the botanical samples, these are from the events of Dark Mirror. They go to Peru, which I will show in this mission.
Chrysler's plants were being shipped from a company called Chemsynth Botanicals in Peru.
Leon, I'm heading into Iquitos now. I'll radio when I make contact with Hargrove. Logan out.
This is it. See those? All my assistants, including Martinez, thought the rare plant we were cultivating was being brought in from the rainforest.
But you found them growing here.
Yes, right outside my door. Over there, that's the ChemSynth field office. Martinez may have moved my files the morning the attack started.
Here, take this.
What is it?
My spare comm unit. Move only when I tell you to. I'm gonna try to keep their attention on me while you gather those plants. All right, Addison, let's do it.
ChemSynth wanted us to believe it was the new DDT.
You began to have doubts.
It didn't add up. The tight security, the hidden facility in Alaska. I still don't know what Project Dark Mirror is, but it's not a pesticide.
So you stole it.
The plants being synthesized for Project Dark Mirror are hybrids, genetically enhanced. This disc contains all of the gene splicing data used to create them.
Now, let's read the whole document, explain some stuff in it, and explain the redacted, or at least I'm gonna try to guess what the redacted sections are. So, originally developed by Farcom Industries. Farcom is the company in the first Syphon Filter game that developed the virus. Then they say it's co-developed by Redacted. I'm guessing this redacted section is about Dr. Jandrin or Elsa, which is in the Syphon Filter, the Omega strain. They say that they originally worked on the virus, so that's my best guess. Dr. Jandrin, he has an alternate name called Dr. Kaufman. He changed it later to Jandrin. Him and Dr. Elsa, those two worked on the virus, so maybe they were working with Farcom. That's what the redacted section is about. So let's continue. The virus has properties that have been genetically programmed. Head of our research division. I'm guessing the research division in Days Gone, so that's not an information from Syphon Filter. I can't guess the name of this. I think they say in Days Gone. Yeah, when they explain the origin of the virus, but I don't know right now. So I might add that name later in editing. You can see it on the screen. If I ever find out who's the head of the research division, I'll put the name on the screen. Original developer Farcom Industries, controlling agency the IPCA, multiple samples. The first one, okay, collected in Ukraine. We talked about that. The second one, New York agency labs. Is that what it is? The redacted. It says agency redacted. Agency labs. I'm guessing that's my best guess. The third one, like I said, it could be what they mentioned in Syphon Filter 3, which is a strain redacted, the final strain, or it has a code like 01A, 02C, but the code is redacted, so I can't guess that. And finally, we have Carthage Health Authority, the Canadian Authority of Health, CHA, the guys in the orange suits, and they obtained the sample. That sample is called the Omega strain of the virus. It's funny that the third sample is called the final strain, and the fourth sample is called the Omega strain. The word Omega, it also means final in Greek, I think. So I don't know. I just thought it's funny to mention. But yeah, the Omega strain is a different strain of the virus completely in Carthage, Michigan. And we go to the rest of the message. It reads, "Hey, this was sent down to us by a contact in the IPCA. I tried to do a follow-up with the principal agent involved, Agent Logan, Zing, and Lepon, but their files are classified." So Logan is Gabe Logan, Zing is Leon Zing, Teresa Lepon. Those are all characters from Syphon Filter. They're the main characters. But their files are classified above my pay grade, of course. So no can do. I managed to track down a lab tech named Mujari. That's Lawrence Mujari, also from Syphon Filter. But I'm wondering, is he a lab tech? I think he ranks higher in the agency. I don't know. I'm gonna look up his ranking, and if I find it, I'm gonna post it here as a text message on the screen. But he wouldn't talk. Also, note that we have botanical samples. We explained all that. This is the dark mirror stuff. Let me know if you want me to send them over. Mark. I don't know who Mark is, but he seems to be the guy who received this message. And that concludes our Syphon Filter references list in Days Gone. And now let's start with the similarities list, which, like I said, there are 7 of them. So here's the first one. Don't worry, this list is going to be much shorter than the references list. So the first similarity is this. The enemies in Syphon Filter 1, they light themselves on fire and they charge at you in a suicide attempt. They also did this in the 5th Syphon Filter, Dark Mirror. And in Days Gone, the Rippers, they do the exact same thing. So I think that's a callback to Syphon Filter. At number 2, we have Anton Gurdu, which is a boss fight in Syphon Filter 1. He's a pretty iconic villain in this game, and he carries a flamethrower and a gas tank on his back.
Anton Gurdu. I hope Romer's paying you enough to die for him.
Gabriel Logan. Always the optimist. Look around, Logan. This hall contains a mosaic depicting the entire history of your country's wars and aggression. We are about to make an addition to it.
I don't think so, Gurdu. It ends here.
And there's also flamethrower enemies in the Omega Strain. Another flamethrower boss fight in Dark Mirror.
You have to come out sometime. Let's negotiate.
And in Days Gone, you encounter enemies that carry a flamethrower. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but to me it just looks at least similar, even if it was unintentional.
Get to the top of the cone. Flamethrower. Shit.
Number 3, in Days Gone, when you go to the controls layout, you will notice that the R1 button is dedicated for rolling and the circle is dedicated for crouching. But they went out of their way to put a specific entire separate option in the menus to swap the circle with the R1, so you can roll with the circle and crouch with the R1. This seemed pretty suspicious to me because in the Syphon Filter franchise, the circle button is dedicated for rolling. And as a Syphon Filter player, it came naturally to me. I just swapped it immediately once I started the game, and now I'm using the circle to roll just like Syphon Filter. At number 4, we have in Syphon Filter 1 a faction that is called the CBDC, which stands for Chemical and Biological Defense Command. And take a look at them. Here's how they look. They are wearing a yellow suit. And in Days Gone, you have NERO, the National Emergency Response Organization, NERO. And they look pretty similar. Again, I don't know if this was intentional, but it seemed like a callback, at least to me. At number 5, we have the characters selection. So, since Siphon Filter 2, they introduced the multiplayer, and as you can see, you can select characters to play in the multiplayer section, and some of these characters are just silly and they don't make sense, but it's the principle is that any character that's in the game, they put it in the multiplayer section that you can choose and play, and whatever character you choose, it doesn't affect the way you play. So they're just models, skin models. And in Siphon Filter 3, it's a similar situation with the multiplayer. But the important thing is that this carried over to something in Siphon Filter 3 that is called the mini games. When you go into the mini games, they look a lot similar to the challenges in Days Gone. So that's the similarity. The challenges mode and the mini games mode in Siphon Filter 3, they're pretty similar. And you can also choose any character you want. Same situation with Days Gone. At number 6, this one is going to be a spoiler. So I'm going to divide this video into chapters. So the chapter you're in right now, if you haven't finished Days Gone, or if you haven't played Siphon Filter 2 and 3, this is going to be a spoiler for you. So if you want to skip it, just skip to the next chapter. If you don't mind, don't listen to this.
Let's see. At what point did you decide to bring Teresa back? Was that the plan all along? I think you just answered that. That was you were figuring out as you went because you didn't have the master plan of this. Well, that's right. Oh no, that was actually.
That's an exception. So I knew from the beginning that Teresa was going to come back because it was kind of one of those things.
And as you can see, John Garvin himself says that, yeah, Teresa was planned to be killed and brought back. Like, it's a twist. So something similar happened in Days Gone. Those of you who finished the game know what I'm talking about. Boozer, like, at a certain point towards the end of the game, you think something happens and you think that Boozer is definitely dead. And I got so angry about that. And it turns out that it's planned, that yes, he's alive, he comes back. So I thought, I don't know if this is intentional or like it's a similar tactic that John Garvin, who wrote both stories, Siphon Filter and Days Gone, he's using the same tactics here, same story elements. That he kills a character and he made a character that's very likable and the player gets attached to, and they get killed off, but it's planned from the beginning that they're going to come back later. It's not a retcon. And by the way, John Garvin did something similar in Siphon Filter Dark Mirror, where Addison gets apparently killed, but at the end of the game, she turns out to be alive. And finally, at number 7, we have the similarities between Addison Hargrove from Syphon Filter Dark Mirror and Sarah in Days Gone. They both work for an organization doing chemical engineering on plantation and stuff like that. And later, it's revealed that the research that they're working on is a bioweapon that is being used by an evil company, the same company that they work for. That story beat was similar between the two. Again, John Garvin wrote both stories, so expect similar story beats. Now that we're done with the similarities and with the references, I have a theory, a pretty interesting theory, which is that if you go to Syphon Filter 1 and in Ukraine in the Stronghold missions, you're gonna find test subjects that are infected with the Syphon Filter virus. Notice what they look like. And in the game, they are very weak and they don't attack you or anything. They're just sick people that you're trying to help. But I thought that their appearance, like notice their appearance, what does it remind you of? Can anyone guess? Well, here's my theory. My theory is that these test subjects are what the Freakers from Days Gone are based on. Notice how the Freakers look like. Pretty similar. I'm gonna put them side by side, and you can see the bald head, the disfigured face, and they're both infected with a virus. So I thought it's pretty interesting. I don't know if this is intentional or not. I don't know if this is canon or not. I'm just saying it's a fun theory, a fun similarity to point out that the Freakers from Days Gone, who are infected with what they call the hooligan virus, they look similar to the infected people from the Syphon Filter virus in the Syphon Filter game. But I don't think they like literally based the Freakers on those test subjects, because in an interview John Garvin said that he took inspiration from other media like the movie World War Z, The Walking Dead, Sons of Anarchy, and the Freakers also look like the zombies in a game called Dying Light, and they also look similar to the zombies in well, I don't know if they call them zombies in the movie I Am Legend. So it could be just a coincidence, and like I said, this is just a theory of mine, and I just thought it's interesting to point out that the Freakers look like the test subjects from Syphon Filter. It's pretty cool, and it's a very like striking resemblance. And I think if they look different enough, it's because in Syphon Filter 1 the graphics were like very old PS1 graphics. If you update the graphics, if you remaster Syphon Filter 1, I think the test subjects would look closer to the Freakers. It's just a theory of mine. I'm not basing this on anything other than the appearance, and I thought it's just interesting to talk about. So finally, in conclusion, I want to talk about the canonicity of these references. Is it canon that Syphon Filter and Days Gone share the same universe? Is Days Gone a sequel? So we asked none other than John Garvin himself, and this is what he has to say.
Just in case Leo made any last minute changes. Thanks to Leo for making this happen, for reaching out. Back to their questions. Let's see. Many Easter eggs regarding Syphon Filter were found in Days Gone, John. Can you talk more about them? Is it canon? Is Days Gone a Syphon Filter sequel? Or are they officially just Easter eggs? I want to know this too.
Here's what I'll say, because I've said this on Twitter many times. So I'm not talking about anything for Days Gone or Syphon Filter that is literally outside the scope of what you can discover for yourself in the game. So what I say when I say that, what I mean is, I don't want to hear George Lucas talk about what he wanted to do for Star Wars. I want to talk about what happened in Star Wars and why did he change this and whatever, right? So that's kind of my take. It's like, it's not my place yet. Maybe someday I'll be able to write a memoir or something and talk about all the grandiose things that I really wanted to do or whatever. But for now, I think it's just, you take it at face value. What do you find in the game? And it's like, okay, in Days Gone, and if they're asking, this isn't a spoiler, yes, there are specific references to Syphon Filter that you can go into the labs where Sarah used to work, and you can find these dossiers and these documents where they're talking about the not just the Syphon Filter virus, but all sorts of other sort of clandestine, biological weapon programs, and that's one of them. So, does that put them firmly in the same universe? You found this document in this lab that's in the Days Gone universe. So the answer to me seems pretty obviously yes. Does that make Days Gone a sequel? No, that doesn't make Days Gone a sequel, because it's not the same genre. It's not the same type of game. It doesn't have target lock or headshots or...
I hear spinoff.
You're
saying
so,
Days Gone is just a simple Syphon Filter spinoff.
Yes, and that's the bite that's going to come out and be on GameSpot tomorrow, and Connie's going to kill me. So don't do that. No, I'm just
Everything
saying,
is off the record.
If you find it in the game, it's a real thing. It's a real thing that happened.
That's cool.
So, but no, I'm not going to say it's a sequel or it's in the same universe or
Fair enough.
So that's a pretty interesting answer from John Garvin himself. He's the writer of the story. I don't care what anyone else says, like lead designer or the company, Ben Studio. Like, I will take the word of John Garvin because he wrote the story, so he knows the canon, and we're discussing the canon here. So he said it's not a sequel, but it's in the same universe. And he also said they are references. So that's John Garvin's answer. Now he also said to take it as face value. So we're kind of free to interpret that as we see how it makes sense. So here's my personal opinion from all of this. Um, Days Gone is not a sequel to Syphon Filter. It's not the same genre, like Garvin said. It's not the same game. It doesn't play the same. It's a zombie survival horror game, while Syphon Filter is an espionage conspiracy game. I know Syphon Filter is about a virus, and that's a similar aspect between the two games. But the virus, it's just the MacGuffin of the game. Like the game, it's about the characters. It's about Gabe and Leon and Teresa. It's about the conspiracy, the agency, and the espionage aspect of the game. So that's what Syphon Filter is about. It's an action stealth third-person shooter, and Days Gone is a survival horror open world game. They're vastly different. The only thing they have in common is that they are developed by the same studio, so there are references between the two. So that's what all these are, just references and similarities, whether intentional or not. Uh, Finally, I wanna, well, some of you might ask, well, you can say that, but like John Garvin said, how do you, in this case, how do you explain the literal document that you found in the game that explicitly mentions Logan, Leon, Teresa, Syphon Filter, the strains of the virus, chemsynth botanicals from Dark Mirror? These are all mentioned explicitly. So, like I said, they are references. Outside the game universe in the real world, we can say that Penn Studio developed both games and they put references. They were just paying respect and love for Syphon Filter, so they put all these references: the stun gun, the BND 150 sniper rifle, and the document, the memo we found. But if you want an in-universe explanation, then here's my take on it. You can say it's an alternate reality. It's an alternate universe where Days Gone and Syphon Filter, they share the same universe. And this happened before in Syphon Filter, the Omega Strain. You can have a bad ending and you can have a good ending. In the bad ending, they don't cure the Syphon Filter virus, they fail, and it spreads. So maybe in that reality, the like you saw, like this is my theory. The test subjects of the Syphon Filter virus, they looked like the freakers, and the Syphon Filter virus is not the same as the freaker virus in Days Gone. It's explained in Days Gone how the virus has spread and how it was developed, and not exactly what it is, but they kind of talk about it. It's just different from Syphon Filter. So maybe it's another strain of the Syphon Filter virus. It's not the exact virus, the same. It's not the exact same, but maybe the development of Syphon Filter, like they took that research and like in the future, because Syphon Filter takes place in 1999, and the last Syphon Filter game, Logan's Shadow, takes place in 2007. So, and Days Gone takes place in 2019. And not just because the game was released in 2019. No, there are dates in the game. If you go to Iron Mike's grave, you can find that it says he died in 2019. So the game takes place in 2019. And Gabe Logan is supposed to be dead at this point. Unless he's not dead, he's resurrected. I don't know. So that document, like if you want an in-universe explanation, it doesn't make sense. Like Mujari was shot, Gabe was dead, Teresa was shot. It ended on a cliffhanger, so we don't know if they are really dead, but they looked pretty dead to me. like Gabe took 4 shots to the chest. We can say he's not dead. He can be resuscitated or something, but the timeline doesn't make sense. Like 2007, 2019. So let's just say it's an alternate reality where maybe they failed to cure the Syphon Filter virus, and that led to the development of the Freaker virus, and it's a more powerful version of the virus, and that's why the Freakers look similar to the test subjects from Syphon Filter, and that's how the events develop. You can say it's an alternate reality where they succeeded in stopping the Syphon Filter virus. But again, even if they succeeded, that also in the future, in 2019, someone developed a similar virus, and that's the Freaker virus. But like I said, it's been done before in Syphon Filter, the Omega Strain, the 4th game. There is a bad, literally there is a bad ending, an alternate universe, an alternate scenario, where if you fail, if you take certain routes and you don't do certain objectives, you don't cure the virus, and they have newspapers inside the game saying that the virus, there's no cure and you failed and it spread and all that. So like I said, it could be another reality where Syphon Filter, like if you want an in-universe explanation, it doesn't make sense because like I said, the timeline doesn't make sense. Gabe is supposed to be dead at this point, so but we can say it's an alternate reality where he's not dead, where the 2 games are connected. But like John Garvin said, they're the same universe in this reality, but it's not a sequel. So I'm gonna say it's not a sequel, and those references are just what they are, references. They're just a love letter to the Syphon Filter series. So that about concludes our business here, and those are all the references I could find in the Days Gone game. I hope this guide video was helpful and informative to you. I hope you join our Discord if you want to play Syphon Filter, the Omega Strain online. And thank you for watching. Have a good day.